Okay, Ben, thanks a million for taking the time out of your schedule to speak to me. I'd like to start out by asking, for people who have no idea what this movie's about, can you tell me a little bit about the plot of Lost in Karastan?
The film Lost in Karastan is a blackish comedy about a film director who's a bit hard on his luck. He had early success in his career, had a great start with his first couple of films, but now he's kind of hitting a sort of low point. He's in the doldrums, can't think of a new project, running out of money, can't even pay his cleaner, and is needing inspiration or some stroke of luck. And it arrives in the form of a phone call from a film festival in the distant country of Karastan, the Autonomous Republic of Karastan, where they're inviting him to a retrospective of his two films at the first edition of a film festival. And it's the kind of thing he needs in his life, just to take a wild punt on some kind of out of the blue invitation. And he goes, and it's a disaster, and that's the film.
I hope this is in no aspect autobiographical.
The film is pretty much, when I say autobiographical, that's not quite right. It is based very much on my experiences, also the experiences of the co-writer Paweł Pawlikowski, another film director like me. Actually, it was his idea, and I think he got me on board because I'm also a film director who's travelled a lot, has shot a lot in countries like Turkey, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan. So we both had this broad experience of both filming abroad and also visiting very obscure festivals in the former Soviet bloc. So the two of us compiled our actual real experiences of film festivals and filming abroad. Plus we brought in some experiences that happened to friends of ours or other film directors we know. So even though the film is pretty much absurd, it's actually based on real events.
Now, there are lots of funny, dark, and as you say, absurd scenes in this, such as showing one of our director's most hardcore sex scenes to a room full of children. Yeah. What's the weirdest experience you've had at one of these remote film festivals?
I mean, I recently was at the world premiere of my latest film. I made another film after Lost in Karastan in China, where it appeared that the entire audience had either been forced to go there or paid to go there, or their teachers at university had made them go there. It didn't seem that there was actually anyone in the audience who was free willingly there. And this quite often happens. It happens more often than you think. That, for instance, like there are film festivals in the Gulf, in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and actually there's no real kind of cinema-going culture there. And when George Clooney turns up, they need lots of people to line the red carpet and clap. And most of those people are paid extras, you know, and the people in the audience are often kind of, you know, given incentives to turn up in the form of money or some kind of, you know, free popcorn or something like that. It happens more often than you think.
Let me ask about where it was filmed, because you seem to be in quite a remote location, which throws up a number of challenges. We
decided to film in Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, not the United States, because...
It would be a different movie.
It would be a different movie. It's a very beautiful country with wonderful landscapes, mountains, deserts and so on, but it also has very beautiful towns, centres, but the centre of Tbilisi, the capital for instance, is surrounded by these kind of Soviet housing blocks that have not been particularly well maintained in some cases. So it's exactly what we're looking for, the feeling of a country that's collapsing from poverty and neglect, surrounded by very beautiful landscapes.
For my final question, I'd like to ask what you hope audiences will take from Lost in Karastan when they sit down in the cinema and they look up at that screen.
Well, I hope audiences will, first of all, have a really good time, and secondly, laugh a lot. And then there's the final take-home thing, if you can be bothered, you know, is to think about the relationship between cinema and power, because cinema has always been used by let's say fascist governments or, you know, bad governments in order to sell themselves with a smiling face. There's an element to the visual arts which is a propagandistic element, whether it's advertising a chocolate bar or it's a state making its own propaganda to hide the fact that it's killing its citizens or something like this. Film can be misused by people, and that's the kind of the underground, more kind of serious thing behind this absurd comedy that we made.